Hey, this is Troy Taylor with the Championship Football Coaches Clinic, sponsored by Sports Rack. I have Alec and Jared here today, and they're with Sports Workbook. Gentlemen, for the people that are not familiar with y'all's company, could y'all introduce yourselves and just tell us a little bit about where you're from?
Absolutely. My name is Alec Eslick. I am from Liberty, Missouri. It's just north of Kansas City. Jared, go ahead, introduce yourself.
Jared Halfbeer, also live in Liberty, Missouri. I live, I think, maybe 4 blocks away from Alec Eslick. So we coached together the past 4 years. 4 years together at Liberty North, where Coach Eslick is now. I got a different job this offseason at St. Pius, a small Catholic school here in North Kansas City. But yeah, we've been running this company since it'll almost be a year at the end of March. So
yeah, March 2022 is when we kind of kicked it off. And really it's something that Jared kind of put a bug in my ear about probably 6 months before that, saying, hey man, we might need to start spreading the word on these things and get this out to the general population.
I'm going to stop. I'm going to interrupt him. I'm going to stop him right there. So he's the one that came up with this. So I guess how it kind of all started is 2 seasons. So I think it would have been the season of 2019. He made, I guess, officially the first sports workbook, and he used them for the defensive side. And I remember just seeing him taking notes and stuff with it during the season. I was like, man, I really like that. Because when I came from GA and at college at Fort Hays State, like everything I had was just in a big binder, but it was kind of hard to keep. Like if you had any like loose leaf paper or anything like that, like I liked keeping everything together, but like that binder got really thick. And so I was like, man, I really like that. So I made one for the offensive one. And so we kind of came together last off season because I remember when we were at Liberty North, we bought one of those big stickers that were for a whiteboard that you could draw stuff on. And we just kind of seemed like there's definitely products out there that coaches are willing to buy. And we've been using these and we really liked them and we hadn't seen anything like it. So we just kind of sat, his basement, Coach Eslick's basement, has been our business office for the last year and a half or so.
In the workshop.
The workshop. That's right. Dealing with dogs and kids. So yeah, we're kind of down there and we're just like, okay, how can we make this accessible to where other coaches were going to buy it? Because like, it was great for me. I had everything. I made it like as an opponent workbook. And then I would have like, just like play drops. And so that's where it kind of originated, is I saw what he did. And I was like, I like that. So I made one for myself as an offensive coach, because I was coaching receivers at the time. And that's kind of where it all started of, hey, we like this. Let's see if there's not something that we can make this into a little small business, both being teachers and both being broke, to see if we can't have a little side gig here.
Side gig.
Yeah.
So, basically we vanilla iced this thing and we found a problem and we solved it. And people are kind of digging it a little bit. And Jared, don't do that. So we've been, like Jared said, we've been using it for years and it's helped us a lot. Keeps everything organized. No more with the yellow legal pad. No offense to that company or anything, but for us, that gets lost in the bottom of a backpack. It gets lost in the back of your truck or whatnot. And we've just found that these books have really kept us just organized and clean. And it's easy for staff meetings. It's easy for install. It's easy for off-season stuff, in-season scouting. So we've been using them for a while and trying to spread the word a little bit.
Yep.
Hey, y'all, do you mind if I take Jim McNally on the show with y'all on
Sure.
FaceTime? Yeah, this is going to be good, Coach. Hey, Coach.
I just did some chin-ups for the boys.
That's good, Coach. Got these 2 young coaches from Missouri, Coach. Where are y'all from in Missouri? Where would Coach know?
Liberty North High School and St. Pius High School.
You ever been?
I know where St. Louis is and I know where Kansas City is, but
we're right outside Kansas City.
10 minutes north.
Yeah. Y'all, tell Coach McNally how excited y'all were when he joined Twitter.
Pumped.
Oh,
phenomenal. You've been using that thing like crazy.
Just phenomenal. It's one of those where you just got to pin the tweets every time.
Yeah.
following them or are they following me?
He wants to know, is he following you?
Not
Or
yet.
I'm not
Or are
special
y'all
enough.
following him?
Nope, you're not following us.
Nope.
Not yet.
Yeah, coach. There's sports_workbook. Sports_workbook. Yeah, they're two high school coaches that have a company. And I said, could I put Coach McNally on? And they said yes. So anything else y'all want to coach up about Twitter? There it is.
Go.
Look
See,
at that,
follow
guru.
in. We're still waiting for the follows you.
But,
Can't hear him, Troy.
oh, they said that they're waiting for you to follow them back. And
See?
Coach was going to follow everybody back, but he said
I've
now.
got over 2,000 followers, and it's impossible to, because if you follow somebody, you got to read their stuff. You just don't push follow and then ignore them. You know what I mean? But I mean, I got after 400 and some, I quit pressing follow.
Hey, Coach, what do you write your notes on when you do all your studies? Do you have a
Yeah.
notebook? What do you do? These guys are going to send you a Jim McNally notepad, Coach. Show Coach y'all's product. See that,
Look at
Coach?
that. You can got all your notes, all your field drops, and you can have your notes on the side.
I don't see it clear.
Okay. He sees it, but he doesn't see it clear. You see it now, Coach?
Yes, I do. Yeah, it looks very impressive.
It looks very impressive.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
would y'all
Clean and
send Coach
organized.
McNally a couple copies of a notebook custom made for him? And he'll
But I want to pay for them. I don't want anything for free.
Sure,
Yeah,
absolutely. The guru.
well, he said he wants to pay for him. He doesn't want anything for free. They put a picture of it, Coach. Take a picture of you with the book and then tweet it out, Coach, and
Right.
we'll tag their tweet.
Yes.
I'll be glad to do that.
There you
There we
go.
go.
Jim McNally, baby.
That's right.
Yeah.
Do they want my address? My home address?
I'll give it to him, Coach. You can text it to me. We won't. Coach, there's a guy in Rochester, New York, that'll probably be at your door tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, if we give out your address. So,
Trying to keep you safe, Coach.
Coach, you're the best.
You know, one guy, and then I'll let you go, because I don't know how all this Twitter stuff works. You know, I mean, I'm just learning. So a lot of these guys that get my Twitter, they got buddies on Facebook that aren't on Twitter or for whatever reason. So they take all my videos and all my blogs and they send them to their buddies who aren't on Twitter, who can't get them for whatever reason. I mean, I'm not whatever. And I says, please don't do this. Comprendo. And then one guy answered me back, if you put it out there, I can send it wherever I want. Comprendo.
Okay.
So he was trying to tell me to stick it up my ass.
Hey, Coach, you're the best, Coach.
Okay. See you later.
All right.
Nice meeting you, Coach.
Hey, so
Phenomenal.
dude,
What
y'all
a
got
guy,
Jim
dude.
McNally using y'all's notepad. If
you
anybody
go.
uses the notepad, it's Jim McNally.
That's a
right.
guy right there now.
Did
Good
y'all
deal.
ever think that y'all would be on a FaceTime call with Jim McNally about Sports Workbook?
Nope. Can honestly
Yeah,
say
man.
it.
I'm
Never
blessed.
thought about that.
I'm blessed. I just met him a week ago. He went from 2 followers to over 2,000.
Yeah.
His main concern was, Troy, how is anyone going to know that I'm going to be on your podcast? I said, well, Coach, do you have Twitter? He goes, yes, I have 2. And I said, well, we're going to change your name from Jim McNally 567389 to Coach McNally OL, and we're going to add 2 pictures. That took an hour. And that's the best coaching job I've ever done.
That's
and
awesome.
that's my calling card. And
Yeah.
I brought Jim McNally to Twitter.
It
So
needs to be on your resume. If you
Yeah,
decide
that's
to go
it.
anywhere else, you got to throw that on there.
he told me that I was above average. And that was enough for me. It was
Yeah.
enough for me, dude. You know,
Yeah, that's huge.
awesome.
it was huge. So y'all, I mean, how can we ever, come down from Jim McNally wanting to buy y'all's product? Y'all are gonna make him a book. You're gonna tag me. You're gonna tag him. We're gonna put Jim McNally. Put all the logos. I think he would love that. Put all the logos. This doesn't have to be official, okay? So we ain't getting no permission from anybody. Just blame me. I've already been investigated by the NCAA, the federal government, state government, and county government. Okay, I'm the most penalized coach in America. All right, you can Google me. but put all the logos of all the schools and teams he was with. He would love that, dude. Did you
We
know
can do
he
that for
coached
sure.
the We Are Marshall team?
Oh,
I did not know
really?
that.
No,
He
I
was the
didn't.
O-line coach on the team after they died in the plane crash. He's actually
Wow.
in the movie. The guy goes, "This is your new coach, Jim McNally." Yeah.
Huh,
It's-
I love that movie.
oh man,
Yeah.
he's in it. He's in it.
You
It's
worked
the guy
Anthony
playing his
Tannehill, huh?
character. But yeah, man, I'm hyped to have y'all on. I'm excited to look at the website. Anything else y'all want to say before we put the website up?
I don't think so.
so.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, I had Robert Prunty on this morning. He was the #1 recruiter in America, and he told me that I was big time. He said, "You're big time." He said, "Your podcast is big time." He said, "I've been interviewed by ESPN." He goes, "You're the best." I was
Nice.
like, "Wow,
Well,
dude."
tell him we've got a
Oh, yeah.
recruiting notebook that he can go ahead and get.
Well, Coach, you
That's
know,
right.
it's
We got it.
Coach. You're going to get some publicity. There's some people looking at this thing.
Good deal.
All right, so
All
this
right.
is their website. How do they get to y'all's website?
Yep. So to get to the website, just type in sportsworkbook.com. And I don't know where we're at on Google. Hopefully we're rising up a little bit. Don't mix it up with sports book because we're not a betting site.
Yes. That is
Although
very common.
We like to gamble every now and then, but for the purpose of finding a workbook, sportsworkbook.com. And this is our front page here. So
Yep.
if you type it in correctly, you'll see this.
Yep. So for all, as far as what everybody will want to see is like, so when you go to football, and we've kind of tried to do it a bunch of different ways to just try and clean it up. Again, we cannot stress this enough. We are football coaches. We are not tech guys.
Amen.
Graphic designers.
Yeah, yes, or graphic designers. We are just football coaches that have just tried to make it simple. So as far as the organization, so we've tried to break it down between the offense, defense, and then some special books that we have. Like we've got a shout out Coach Gibbs, PJ Gibbs down there in Florida. We've made a connection with him. He's got his own specialized, personalized book for the defense and the installation that he's been doing. So we do have a couple like special books like that, but primarily we try to have the exact same thing for both the offense and defense side of the ball. For special teams, the only thing that we have is just an in-season scout book, which that can be made into a build your own book as far as like if you just want 60 pages of just punt draw up sheets, you can get that. But as far as going to our website, so when people come on here, the most popular one that we've had, and props to Coach Eslick for coming up with this, has been our clinic notebook. And that's been the one. It's on our front page. It's a note page, and it's a 4-box play draw page, and we put it right in the middle. So that way, whether you're offense, defense, whatever it may be, it's smack dab in the middle for you. So that way you can draw up both, because I know a lot of times, especially when you get to the smaller schools, that's kind of something that we've ran into recently. Like we've been getting into a lot of 8-man stuff. Is unlike us, when we were at Liberty North, we just coached on one side of the ball. And sometimes we forget that when you're at a higher school, but you go down to a lower level school, a lot of guys are coaching both ways. So they don't necessarily want to have to order 2 different books. They want to be able to draw up both the offense and the defense. So we put it right in the middle. And then we have like a 2-way notebook that we do offer for coaches like that. But anyways, just taking you through the process. So if you came on here and you're an offensive coach and you wanted to get what we call the OC. So the OC is something that I put together. The offensive coordinator, what it is you get all the templates for however many games you play in the year. And so what we tell people, so like when you select an option, it's going to say 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, or 15 plus games. We want you to select however many it would take for you to win a state championship. And so if you're playing like down in Texas, you're playing a 16-game season. When we were at Liberty North, it was just 14 for us to get to state. So we want to make sure that you have all those same templates for every single week of the season. And I know that's one thing, because we'll always have to double check with coaches. They're like, we just need it for 10 weeks. We're like, so states week 10. And they're like, no, it's actually week 14. Well, it's like, well, let's get you a book for week 14. If you make it there, we don't want you to have to cut it short. But anyway, so you'll choose your option as far as how many games. The big thing that we do is all of our communication is through Twitter. I mean, that is it's our bread and butter. That's our A-gap power. That's how we communicate to people.
That's our lifeblood for sure.
Yes, it is. So we want to make sure that people put their Twitter handle on there. I understand that some coaches don't have it, and they'll usually email us, but that's when our question kind of comes in, is like, that's really the only social media we're on is Twitter. So we're like, how did you hear about us if it wasn't through Twitter? So it's always kind of interesting hearing that stuff. But anyway,
we tried Instagram, but neither of us are very good at using Instagram. I still don't know how to use that thing. But
yeah, Coach McNally got hacked the first day.
Instagram's notorious for getting people hacked.
It was when he got that Twitter message to click on it, and he said he clicked on it, and then he thought the person was helping him get on Instagram.
Yeah,
and then he got hacked. He
went
went crazy, dude. It was man, it was bad. Yeah. So we're not doing Instagram.
No,
we're not Instagram.
Twitter, please.
As I'm going through this, like, I'm just going to kind of scroll through. So just for example, so like it'll start off like each week, like you'll have your note page. You've got your 4-play drop with your notes on the side. You've got your 8-play box. Then you've got like a field setup with nothing drawn on there. So that way, if you want to do more on the hash, whether it's in the middle of the field, you've got your note section on the top, be able to draw up like whether it's coverages, anything like that. So this is kind of the reason I put this one on there is more of like a freelance. That way people can use it however they want to. And then we've got a protection one. So Coach McNally would love this one. So this one can be used whether it's for protection or for your run game to be able to draw up personnel, and you've got notes, left tackle, all that stuff. And then we've got a stunts and blitz page, which for me, I always thought was really helpful, especially like when you're going through on Saturday and you're watching everything and you're tagging stuff on Huddle or Quick Cut or whatever you use, and to be able to make sure instead of having to go back into Huddle, draw the cards as you're doing it, I have everything on one piece of paper to be able to look at. So it's been really nice to use as an offensive coach. So that way it's all on one page. So you got your stunts and blitz, and then you've got your tendency breakdown. So when you're going through, because obviously like Huddles, that they've done their update and stuff like that to make it a little bit easier as far as being able to see all the data and stuff like that. But I know some coaches are more analytical than others, but I know for me personally, being able to have whether it's your top blitzes, your top coverages, your percentages based on third down, field position and whatnot, and then also having a weekly schedule. I know for me that was huge, because like you talk about, like, hey, on practice on Tuesday, we have to make sure that we work against this front. And then when we go on Wednesday, we have this front. So I've been a huge fan of just having that schedule that way. And compared to like Coach Eslick was saying with that yellow pad of, okay, just writing Wednesday, we have to do this. I've got a mini schedule for each week to be able to write my stuff on. So that's just an example of what the OC looks like. And then the DC is very similar. I can pull that up and I can let Coach Eslick talk through that, but that's the OC. So every other link that you see on here is everything that goes on the cover. And so that's something that we take a lot of pride in, is we want to make sure that these books are 100% customizable and personable to you. So like whatever logo you want on there, whatever name you want to have on there, if we've had some very interesting requests to put on the cover as far as names, I will say that. Whatever your team, yeah, we've whatever. Like I know at North we always had like a very specific hashtag for each year that we would use. So we give you that option to be able to put on it. So just like looking at my book that I've got, like we've got the FFC at St. Pius, and we give you two options for your logo, and then I'm a big apparel guy. Like we want to know, are you Under Armour, are you Nike or Adidas? And we're going to put that down there in the bottom, and then we'll have our logo in the bottom right. But we take a lot of pride in our covers, and we want to make sure they look really nice. And so we give you all those options over here on the side to be able to fill all that stuff out. And so it's a one-stop shop that you can give us all the information that we need. And then also making sure that we get your Twitter handle, because the last thing we want to do is if you send us a logo and it doesn't work, because like one thing that coaches will do, and I'm glad being able to have this opportunity on your podcast to be able to talk about this, is a lot of people will share logos from Google Drives, and a lot of times you have to request access for it. And so that's just kind of, it's just kind of a pain in the butt, for lack of better words. So like if they're able to just send like a straight, like whether it's Google Images or something like that, that usually works better for us, or if they just email it to us, that works, that it usually comes out cleaner. But the reason that we talk about putting your Twitter handle on there is after we make the mock-up of your cover, we're going to send you a screenshot like, hey, does this look correct to you?
Yeah, so you've got final say and everything. If you don't
Yes.
like it, you can tell us, hey, that looks really crappy. Do it over again, and we'll do it over again. So we want you to be happy with the product and know that we're doing everything we can to make it as personalized and the best that we can, that you're going to like it all season long.
Because we had an instance recently. So Texas Tech just bought books for all their players for spring ball. I assumed that it was at the bottom because like right above, like where it says offensive notebook or whatever you put, like we'll just put like in real small print, like Demon Deacon football or whatever your high school name football, like right above it. I put Red Raiders football. Well, the university came back after they saw the mock-up and they're like, no, it needs to say Red Raider football. So like that's where something like that's really important to us. Like we don't just want to assume and just like, hey, this is what you want. Like Coach Eslick said, we want this to be exactly how you want it, spelled the correct way, the correct logo, the correct colors, everything like that. So that's why we want to make sure that we get all that stuff from you, and we're going to reach out to you on Twitter and send you that mock-up. So that way, like, hey, this is exactly what I want. So you know exactly what you're paying for. Because like, I mean, we take a lot of pride in our product. We put it all together ourselves. We don't outsource any of this stuff. So we want to try and make sure that if we're sending you it, like we're putting it together, we approved it, you approved it, let's roll.
Yep.
So when y'all do the Jim McNally mock-up or whatever it is y'all do for him, y'all will tweet it out and tag him so everybody can see it. Man, that's going to be awesome. What do you think he would like? You think he would like the OC?
Personally, I don't know if he would like the OC or not, because the way the OC and the DC are set up is to give you a healthy mix of run and pass templates. So he would like, Jared, if you can go to the Hog.
Oh yeah, the Hog, baby.
He might enjoy the Hog. The Hog is full of run templates.
Yeah,
so
I think he'd like that.
The way we consider run templates is if like the O line right there, how big it is.
Yeah.
And really no yard lines or anything. So you're not doing any route concepts. You're not drawing up, a 10, 12 to 15 yard dig route. You're dealing with the box. So there's our run templates are all in the Hog, or there's a mix of them in the OC and a mix of them in the DC.
That's awesome.
So he might be a Hog guy.
Heck yeah, he would be.
The bigger the bubbles.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Mouse
big bubbles.
McNally, baby. That's his hashtag. I said, Coach, you got to have a hashtag. He didn't know what that was. It was hashtag Mouse. I said, Coach, you can't have a space in between Coach and Mouse, or it'll be just hashtag Coach. But that was a long conversation there to try to explain why there's no space in between Coach and Mouse on the hashtag. But the Hog, I can't wait to see it.
Our O-line coach here, Coach Llewellyn, he enjoys the big round circles. So he wants nothing to do with the yard lines. If Coach Half will click on the air raid, these are the templates that Coach Lou just would probably throw in the trash if you saw him.
He'd be like, what are all those guys outside the tackle? What's that?
Yeah. What is all this stuff? So this is for your pass game guys. So this is the book that I used all season long. I coached the safeties here, and I was heavily involved with the pass game. So this was mine, and you're able to draw up routes to scale. So if you're watching a lot of film and you got some guys that run a 12-yard comeback, well, you're going to be able to draw a 12-yard comeback. So it's yard lines, high school level hashes. We do have books that have closer hashes for the college game. But this one is for all you pass fellas. So receiver coaches, safety corners coaches, and some of these are in the DC and the OC for anybody that's dealing with QBs or linebackers, whatnot.
Yeah, that one's really nice too. Is just because like Coach Eslick was saying is like, I mean, shout out to him, like making these fields to where it's like where it looks nice, but it's still like usable to be able to draw stuff up. Like it's kind of a pain in the butt because I mean, you're not doing, it's not like you're on Playmaker Pro, or it's not like you've got it on Huddle where it's like, I mean, you've got to really condense it because like he was saying, like if you're drawing up, like if you're going against an empty team or you want to draw up like an empty formation and you want to make sure like, hey, if that post route's got to be at 15 yards, like you want to make sure you have space to be able to draw that up. And vice versa. Like if you're going to like, whether you're showing it to your kids or whatnot, and you're drawing the defense up against it, like you want to be able to have room to draw that stuff up. So this is one that I didn't use initially that I've become a huge fan of as far as just not having the offensive line already preset in there to being able to, whether it's putting on the hash or just kind of being able to move. Like if I'm just drawing up quick game, I might not put it all the way at the bottom of the box. I can put it more towards the middle. And then if I'm going to do like, okay, maybe it's my vertical shots or my play action pass or my third down concepts or whatever it may be, where it's a little bit deeper to where now I can move down and be able to draw stuff up because maybe you're playing against a cover 2 team who's going to put those safeties at 15 yards on the hash no matter what. It at least gives you the room to be able to draw it up. So,
yeah, but it minimizes everything. You got to draw a little smaller, but
yeah, which that's one thing Coach Eslick does. Coach Eslick is a small drawer. Very small.
Coach McNally's not. I saw a video of him the other day. Dude, his circles are huge on the board. Huge.
Phenomenal. Yeah. So that's that. So the books that we've kind of showed you have all been specialized, and maybe you want to mix of both. And so one, like I'd probably say it's been probably our third popular, is it's just been a build your own book. So we've got every single freaking template that we've ever came up with is an option on this one, whether it's offense, defense, special teams. As you're rolling through it, like we've got every single thing on here to be, if you want to mix it, if you want certain ones, but we give you that option to be able to choose how many templates over here. So you can choose, like, as we're looking at this, 2 to 4 for 30 pages, which is it's 30 sheets. So it's actually 60 pages front and back. And then it gives you the options to be able to choose, do I want a bigger book? Do I want a smaller book? Because maybe you want the entire book, like for Coach McNally, maybe you want an entire book of just the same run game template and you want 60 pages of it.
Yep, just one template.
It gives you that option to be able to do it. Or maybe you want repeating, like 4 different, maybe you want like a protection page, you want a notes page, you want a field draw up, and you want an 8-box draw up of a template, and you only want it for 40 page. We give you that option. So the build your own book has been really nice for coaches that kind of want, whether it's a variety or they just want one specific thing throughout the entire thing. I've made a notebook where it's just literally note pages. And like, I would have that book that I would bring to meetings. And so like, this would be my fall camp notebook. So every time we'd have meetings after practice, this is the book that I would use for that. So I would take all my notes on that. So that's what the build your own book allows you to do. You can mix and match. You can put offense, you can put defense, you can put special teams, whatever you want to do. This is your option to be able to create your book however you want to do it. If you don't want to have any of like the preset that we have kind of molded and made as we've kind of done this process.
Yep. And we always take, like, if you go to our site and you don't see a template that you're kind of thinking about in your head, I mean, you could draw it up and then we can create it how we create them. So like everything you see is just line by line created by us. So some of these have been suggested to us, and we've made them for different customers and asked them like, hey, do you mind if we put this on our site and see if we can use this template and sell it to anybody else that wants it? And we always get an okay. If we don't get an okay, you don't see it on the site. But like Coach Cruz over at St. Louis University High, he really wanted a certain template, and it's actually the one that Coach Halfbeer showed to Coach McNally with the lines.
Oh yeah,
and the offensive line on it. That kind of came from Coach Cruz at SLU. So it was one of those, hey, why don't you guys have this, or why don't you do this? Here's a recommendation. Can you make this? Yeah, we can make that. Yeah, let's do it. Let's make it happen. And then we add it to the book.
Yeah, so that's like
our menu.
Yeah, this stats book. I had no idea that coaches still took stats by hand. Had no idea. I had no
Oh,
idea.
you do? Well, here's a
Yeah.
book for you, Coach.
Yeah, and so we had a coach, like I've said, a lot of our stuff that has came out, like they'd be like, "Hey, I love your stuff," but
They're still old school people.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, there's still wing tee out there, baby.
Yeah, there's still old school people that use paper and pen. I mean, that's who
Well,
y'all are
we all
marketing
love
to.
paper and pen.
Yep.
This is why we're doing this. If
Yeah.
people didn't love paper and pen, they wouldn't like us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I mean, this was like, I mean, this one took me. I remember telling Coach Eslick, I was like, man, this one, because it's not just like making a field diagram. It's like this. I wanted to make sure I got this guy exactly how he took his stats.
Yeah.
And so like that's where this came from. And that's like
Yep.
Coach Eslick was saying, a lot of the stuff that we have has been from coaches like saying, hey, do you have anything like that? And we'll kind of look and we'll show them what we have. But if we don't, that's been our whole thing, is like we created templates for us that we wanted. And so we want to go through this process. Like if there's something that you want, tell us and we'll try and create it, because if you want it, there's probably another coach that wants it.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's kind of been our whole business model. Yeah, we even had, like, I mean, as I'm going through here looking at these other books, like we had recruiting staffs like reach out to us. Like we've got, like, as far as like at the college level, having books for college coaches as they go into high schools to be able to take
Heck
all their
yeah.
information down. So
Yeah,
that's
this was
kind of,
one of those kind of like, hey, you guys need to have something that shows GPA, ACT, shuttle, vert, all that stuff. Like, all right, let's plug it in, see what it looks
Yeah.
like.
and so it's like I said, it's just been all, we're like, hey, this is what you need. So like we've got stuff that cater to all levels. The one thing that we don't have on here that I want to make sure that I hit is that all of the options that we have, like for our workbooks. So like, let me just choose an example right here. Let's go back to the hog. All of our books are 8-man accessible, meaning even though it doesn't show it, it shows all 5 linemen. We can create all of these books and we can delete those tackles and make it specifically for the 8-man, because I know
Yep.
here in, it's primarily, Coach Eslick, correct me if I'm wrong, like we've had a bunch of coaches from Kansas,
Nebraska.
Nebraska's been big as far as just like, hey, I don't see anything as far as 8-man. Is that an option? Yes. Like, and we will just go through there and we will make it and just take out those tackles or however you want it. So all of our templates are available in an 8-man version.
Yep.
So that's that.
So how much do they cost, per book?
So just stick with the hog right here, Coach Half.
Yep.
So option 1 is the 10 game. So that's the smaller book. It's 40 pages, $25. And that includes, it's tax exempt. You don't pay a tax on it. You don't pay shipping on it. And we take care of the printing, the binding. It comes with a protective clear cover, and it comes with a protective black backing, and it's all spiraled together. And all in price for that book's $25. So it can go from 25, and our big book in the hog is our 15 plus game, 60-page book for 40. And the reason for that, we've had kind of people question it a little bit. The reason is because the shipping price goes up the heavier the item is. So there's got to be a way to offset it for us. And then our printing also goes up, of course. So the more pages you print, the more it's going to cost. So, yeah. So 25 to 40 is our window. And we have a couple books that are $20 books. And those are, we kind of consider them player workbooks. I know a lot of 7-on-7 teams kind of gravitate towards these. We've had several high schools buy their players some books. And really what it is just, it's a half size clinic book. So you have all your draw up space and your notes page. And that is 25 pages front and back. So 50 total. Again, all spiraled together and everything. And then we have price breaks for like every 5 books. So the player's workbook, if you get 5 of them, it's going to be 5% off. And then 10 will be 10% off, 15% off, up to 25%. So after 25 books, like if I want 30 player workbooks, you're still getting 25% off. So we have deals within each level of purchases. So every 5 books, we kind of shoot another deal at you.
And that's where it goes back to us being coaches and not tech savvy, is we have not necessarily figured out, Slick, you better clap or jump or do something.
Clap on.
Yeah.
Um,
It's the same way it is my school.
is we haven't figured out how to do, like, as far as like the discounts and stuff, like necessarily straight on there. So, but we've got a way that even though it doesn't show, because like if you were to go in there and you were to do 5 books with 20, like it's not going to necessarily take that 5% off initially. And so it's like, what the heck? I thought it's supposed to be this. And that's where we'll talk to you and be like, we'll make sure we'll make sure you get the exact price, because again, we're not tech guys. We're still trying to work through and figure that stuff out because we've created this website ourselves. We don't have anybody else run it. We run it whenever our kids go to bed.
So if anyone from Square can help us out, hit us up. Let us know how to do this. But no, Coach Happ is right. If you're doing a bulk purchase, communicate with us, talk to us, so then we can get you that price, because it's not going to show up on the website if you just type in, I want 100 player workbooks. It's going to cost you $20 every workbook unless you talk to us. And then there's a way for us to go in there and give you a specific discount code that you can then use at checkout. So we need to know if you're planning on a bulk purchase.
Man, I'm impressed, but I like you two. You know, I just don't like your product. I like you because you're coaches, and you're not some, guy trying to make money off of coaches and trying to hustle. You're actually trying to provide a service, for coaches and make them look squared away. I mean, it looks.
I've got 90 of these things.
They look clean. They do.
Yeah, they look sweet, clean. Man.
Yep. The whole staff walking into a meeting with those things. It's good. It's good.
Yeah. We've got it was pretty cool. So I've got to talk about this. So we had the Glacier Clinic was in Kansas City. Was it last week, Slick?
2 weeks.
2 weeks ago. And so we've been doing this since March. And so like we try and just make
since
sure.
What March? Since this March?
No, 2022.
So y'all been a year. You've basically been at this a year.
Yep. So it was pretty cool walking into that clinic. And like I went and listened to Coach Conaway from Shiloh Christian. He was talking. Phenomenal coach. Anyways, I'm sitting in the back and I start seeing these, because like you see them through Twitter, like you see their avatar and you see their face, and we've done okay. Like we've had a decent amount of high school coaches, but all of a sudden you see these guys walking in and they pull out their sports workbook and it's like, hey, we made that. Hey, we made that. And they're sitting there, and then you kind of like see other people looking, and it's just like, it's cool. It's very humbling, very cool to see your product actually being used. Like we just made this 3 weeks ago and here you are.
Yeah.
You got it and you're using it in a clinic. So
that book was in my basement. Awesome. Yeah. It might have one of my dog's hairs on it. Just blow it off.
Oh man. That's probably the biggest pain in the butt that we have to do, is because we put like the clear cover on it. So like in case anything spills that you're good. And so Coach Eslick has this dog named Blitzy Boy, and he's got black hair. So getting those black hairs out of the cover can be a kind of a pain in the butt at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, a little blitz hair just
Old Blitzy Boy.
Is there anything else y'all can think of that you haven't talked about that you want coaches to know that are watching the clinic now or going to watch in the future? Because, we're going to put this out all over social media. I know y'all are too.
Really, the only other thing that I can think of off the top of my head, Coach Haff, I don't know if you have anything else, but if you are a coach of other sports, like we have basketball. Other books too. So we have basketball books. Coach Haffebeer's brother-in-law is a baseball coach at University of Central Missouri. We've done a couple scouting books for him. We've done some volleyball books for different schools, just mainly around us. And we're working on a track book right now. The head coach at William Chrisman, Coach Radke, he's kind of coming up with some ideas that we can play with for a track book. So there's different things in the works. So if you see, go to our website and see a template or a lack of a template, something that you can think of, and you have this great idea for a book, let us know, and we can try to work with you the best that we can. And if we just flat out cannot figure it out, we'll tell you. We were kind of sought after a little bit for like a lacrosse book. Neither one of us know a dang thing about lacrosse. So
no clue.
kind of one of those like, dude, you'd be making this book yourself. So we're not able to help you with it. We just have no idea. But if it's something like that we can do, that we know just a tiny little bit about, we'll help you out and we'll make it for you. We'll, of course, send you each page as we make it to make sure it's exactly what you're thinking. And again, just trying to help people find something that they can use. So we want people to use their creations and to like it. So it's something that's helpful.
Yeah, the last thing that I was going to say is, as we've went through this entire podcast, so we've went through the internet option. So we obviously get a lot, like our entire system is done through Twitter as far as communication, but we've got PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. You can pay through credit card on the website. We have, I think, every single possible payment option out there that's available. So you can go through this entire process and be like, can I just Venmo you? Because maybe it's from a personal account. Maybe you're not paying through a school credit card or something like that. Like, we've got a graphic that you can be able to pay us through. So we've got a bunch of different options. If there's anybody out there in Alaska or Hawaii that is a coach, you are the last.
I know one.
Okay. We are in 48 of the 50 states.
Those
Alaska
are the
and
two.
Hawaii are the two states that we have not sold a book to. So if you are a coach in Hawaii or Alaska, we would love to be able to say we are in 50 states. We are we're in every single Power 5 conference. I don't know the exact number, but I think we've done close to 50 colleges at the Division I AA, Division I level. So it's not just been a high school thing for us. Like, we've had some, like I said, Texas Tech has ordered spring books and they've said they've committed to fall books as well. So it's been pretty cool. So
Yep.
Pretty cool when big Power 5 schools reach out to you for books when they have GAs and could probably have them make them themselves, but they come to us. So that's pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, y'all. Well, I appreciate y'all coming on. How people just need to get at y'all's Twitter at the bottom if they want to get in contact with y'all, or go to your website.
Yep. Our Twitter is the best way. Like, there's an option to email us on the website, but we are, both of us have the Twitter account on our phones, obviously, and we are usually pretty quick to respond via Twitter. So
Okay.
if there's some kind of pressing issue, you need a book, you have an idea and you're thinking of one and you want us to draw it up for you, shoot us a message on Twitter and we are more than likely to be very fast to respond that way.
If Coach Eslick doesn't respond to you within 10 minutes, then usually something's up. Somebody at his squat rack has fallen and he's having to help them up, or something is going on, because Coach Eslick, I will sit there and I try and make it a personal goal to beat him, because we both run the same account. So we try not to like jump in each other, but there'll be times where I'll try and beat him. And it's just like, kid's a machine on the Twitter.
So if you get double messages,
we apologize.
Both of us responded.
Yeah. I appreciate y'all coming on. I'm going to end this, but I want to talk to y'all a little bit after we get done, y'all. Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank y'all, man. Everybody, thank
you,
y'all for tuning in. Rack Coach, our sponsor. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.